Although Augustine's name is probably known to most of us, one might ask what relevance a writer living more than 1,500 years ago could have for us in the 21st century. Yet I believe that we have much to learn from Augustine, who, like other influential thinkers, has gone before us to blaze a trail. The contemporary apologetic relevance of Augustine's work is evident in several areas. First, Augustine had an integrated view of the human person, and so a holistic view of the quest for truth and happiness. Today, however, the practical living of everyday life and intellect or thought are so compartmentalized that people often despair of finding something to bind them together. In contrast, Augustine did not see the pursuit of wisdom, truth, virtue, and happiness as different and unrelated. Rather, each could not be known without the others. Philosophy is the love of wisdom, who is Christ, and wisdom is concerned with living out real life oriented towards God. In our day, integrated thinking desperately needs to be recovered. People not only need to know what is true, but also how to live and how to pursue happiness. If people are going to embrace a worldview, they will want to know how it works out in practice. Augustine's approach to apologetics rested on the basic assumption that not only do we all seek truth, but we all desire to know happiness as well. We look for a coherence that adequately accounts for human experience and brings us a happy life. Now, that may sound strange in this current culture, but truth and wisdom are inescapably connected to the human desire for happiness. Even the classic skeptic who claims to doubt everything believes he or she has arrived at the philosophical position that is most true and opposes those who deny skepticism. Usually, the skeptic argues that Christian revelation is oppressive and tyrannical, yet much skepticism results from an existential despair of finding truth. Augustine saw that people act out of a desire for joy and happiness, yet pursue it in ways that lead to misery, since God alone can give the truly happy life. Although people want to be happy, they often do not want happiness God's way. However, since only God can give lasting happiness, their pursuit is in vain. Augustine noticed that no one wants to be deceived. He argued that very few people would say it's better to be misled than to know the truth. Some people may enjoy deceiving others, but they themselves do not want to be deceived. Augustine wrote, "For if I ask anyone, would you rather have your joy in truth or in falsehood, he would say, in truth, with just as little hesitation as he would say that he wants to be happy. And certainly the happy life is joy in truth, which means joy in you who are the truth, God, my light, health of my countenance, my God. This is the happy life which all desire." The idea of the happy life which all desire, Augustine goes on to argue, is a mental construct and is linked to the idea of truth, which causes us to prefer truth to falsehood, showing that in a certain sense we can't help but love truth and happiness. These universal human desires for happiness and for truth are powerful points of contact for Christian apologetics. Augustine's confessions demonstrate how one can use both personal testimony and apologetic persuasion to appeal to the desires for truth and coherence. He uses the analogy of a man on a journey home as a metaphor of finding his way back to God. In an age where many feel lost and disoriented, the theme of coming home to Christ is very powerful. Furthermore, Augustine does not approach his discussion of other worldviews with an air of condescension or contempt. Rather, having himself struggled with skepticism, ancient dualism, and Platonism, he relates with compassion, clarity, and understanding to those who are at these points in their journey. He recognizes that it is only by God's grace that he came to have faith in Christ, and that it is by grace that others will come to see the light of Christ.
Thank you for listening to this message brought to you by the Ezra Institute for Contemporary Christianity. To learn more about the Ezra Institute's mission to advance the Lordship of Christ, please visit www.ezrainstitute.ca.